All right, let's talk about the DC Universe. There's this growing wave of anxiety among some of the most dedicated fans about the future that James Gunn is building. The big question is the new DCU in trouble before it even really gets started? Let's dive in and break down what's going on.
You can really see the core of this tension when you look at how DC is handling its most popular hero, Batman. It's like there are two different worlds. On one side, you've got the universe Matt Reeves is building, and all the news there is sparking some serious excitement. But on the other side, for the main DCU, the updates are causing a lot of worry and, frankly, a lot of confusion.
So, what exactly kicked this whole debate into high gear? Well, it pretty much boils down to two totally different announcements about The Dark Knight that dropped around the same time. And together, they paint a picture of two franchises that seem to be heading in completely opposite directions. Okay, so in Matt Reeves' corner, the buzz is just insanely positive. You have these casting reports for the Batman Part 2. We're talking Sebastian Stan, Scarlett Johansson, and fans are loving it. They feel like these roles are just perfectly tailored for them. Everything about this production just feels right, you know? It feels thoughtful, and it's getting a great reception.
But then, right as fans are celebrating all that good news, an official announcement drops for the main DCU's Batman. And instead of more excitement, this news sent a very real ripple of concern through the entire fandom. We are talking about the movie The Brave and the Bold. Now, it's been officially confirmed that the creative team is going to be writer Christina Hodson and director Andy Muschietti. And for a lot of fans who have been following DC movies for a while, those two names, well, that's where the problem really begins. So why is this specific team causing so many alarm bells to go off? Why on earth would you hand the keys to DC's most valuable character to the duo behind a recent, pretty high-profile failure? To really get why fans are so anxious, we have to take a hard look at their track record. So let's start with the writer Christina Hodson. Her history with DC projects has been, well, let's just say it's been rocky. She wrote Birds of Prey, which was a box office failure. Her Batgirl script led to a movie that was famously canceled by the studio for being, and I'm quoting here, basically unreleasable. And then she also wrote The Flash, another huge critical and financial disaster. And here's where it gets really specific for fans. In Birds of Prey, a lot of people felt she completely misunderstood and mischaracterized Cassandra Cain, who's a really key member of the Bat family. So the decision to give her another film that's all about the Bat family, this time with Batman and his son Damian Wayne, it just feels baffling. For many, it's a frustrating choice given what happened last time. And that, of course, brings us to the director, Andy Muschietti. His last big project for DC was the incredibly divisive and, let's face it, unsuccessful movie, The Flash. And this right here perfectly illustrates the disconnect that fans are feeling. Before it came out, James Gunn, the actual head of DC Studios, went on record calling The Flash one of the greatest superhero movies ever made. Now, at the time, you could maybe brush that off as marketing hype, but looking back, it really seems like he genuinely believed it. But audiences and critics, they largely disagreed. Big time. The film was widely mocked for its terrible CGI. It had that really strange and controversial cameo scene, and ultimately, it was a massive box office bomb. So the crucial point here is that Gunn didn't just stand by that film. He's now hired its creative team to handle Batman, DC's crown jewel.
Okay, so to be fair, there are some potential positives here. Muschietti is a fantastic horror director, which could be a great fit for Batman's darker side, and he also supposedly works really well with young actors, which is absolutely vital for a movie that's going to feature Robin. But for a lot of people, those strengths just don't outweigh the fact that he oversaw the very recent and very public failures of The Flash.
And look, this whole situation with the Batman creative team, it's not happening in a vacuum. For many of the fans who are worried, this is just one piece of a much bigger and much more concerning puzzle for the entire DC universe. It really all starts with the very foundation of this new universe, the decision to do a soft reboot instead of just starting with a clean slate. It's like they're trying to renovate a house but are leaving up a few of the old crooked walls. Keeping some actors and story bits from the old chaotic universe while erasing others has just created a really messy and confusing starting point for everybody. And then when you look at the actual slate of projects they've announced, wow, it is a lot of Superman and a lot of Batman. It kind of feels like we're taking a step backwards, back to a time before the MCU showed us you could build out a huge, diverse, and interconnected world. And this whole thing gets even stranger when you see who's getting a project and who isn't. While the big two get all the focus, Other major beloved heroes with huge fan bases, like The Flash, Green Arrow, Aquaman, they have no solo projects announced at all. Instead, the slate is full of pretty niche characters, like The Authority and Clayface. It's a really risky move when you're trying to build a new, popular universe from such a shaky foundation.
And honestly, no single project captures all of these anxieties better than the upcoming Green Lantern series. Fans have been desperate to see the character get another real shot, but the details that are coming out about this new version are, for many, just deeply worrying. So the first red flag is the decision to make it a live-action TV series. I mean, Green Lantern is a concept that demands a massive cosmic scale. The power rings, alien worlds, huge space battles, that stuff requires a movie-level budget. Fans are just really worried that a TV show, even a big-budget one, is going to have to cut corners and will end up with a watered-down version of Green Lantern's world. And then, there's this truly bizarre detail. The source is reporting that Hal Jordan, the main Green Lantern, is going to be introduced as a 60-year-old. 60! Think about that. You're trying to launch a brand new universe, and one of your cornerstone heroes is already at retirement age, especially when he'll be next to a Justice League in their 30s. It's a creative choice that a lot of fans just cannot wrap their heads around.
There's also this nagging concern about how fast everything is being developed. James Gunn said he wrote the entire second season of Peacemaker in just 2 months. And while that's fast, a lot of people felt the writing quality was a step down. So that raises a huge fear. Was the new Superman movie, the foundational film for this entire universe, was that rushed too? So you see what's happening here, right? You take the controversial creative team for Batman. You add in the confusing reboot strategy. You sprinkle in these strange character priorities and questionable story choices, and it starts to paint a picture that is making a very vocal part of the fan base deeply, deeply uneasy. So it's not just one thing. It's this cascade of decisions that has really eroded confidence. You have a creative team with a history of failure handling Batman. The universe is being built on a confusing foundation. Major heroes are being sidelined. And the head of the studio's praise for The Flash has made some people question his creative judgment altogether. This all leads us back to that one central, provocative question that's just hanging over everything. The question that summarizes all this fan anxiety we've just walked through. Are these choices actually putting the entire future of the DCU at risk before it even has a chance to begin? So is the DC universe in danger? A year ago, there was this incredible sense of confidence and hype around this new direction. Today, a lot of that confidence has been shaken. That's the question on the minds of so many fans, and for now, only time will tell if these gambles pay off. That's all for this breakdown.